your business. Because at this point, we got to start moving in a direction. And I want you, we've done some mental work. We've done some mental groundwork, I believe. But now it's time to, there's an old song that says time for some action. And so now these next couple of weeks, I'm going to show you how to start getting some action behind what you're trying to accomplish and showing you the steps, 1, 2, 3. This is what you need to do. So wherever you're at, do me a favor, get you a pen, get you a pad, get ready. I want you to take notes if you can. Cut your camera on. I want to see your beautiful face. If your wig ain't turned on straight, just twist it a little bit. It'll be okay. We won't laugh at you too hard. You know, if your piece is kind of a little out of piece, just go and put it back together. It'll be all right. We also, too, definitely want you to ask questions. Everybody check their chat real quick. Do me a favor, shoot me a little something in chat. Hello, how you doing? I want to make sure you know how to work chat because I want you to start asking questions because as I'm going through my first part of this, which is my dialogue, my monologue dialogue, I want you to be able to actually ask questions as they come to your mind because what can happen is I'll say something, you'll have a question, and if you're like me, you'll forget what you had to ask. So I want you to make sure you put it in the chat. So if you would, just put your name in the chat. Hello, what's up? Matter of fact, if you're bold enough and you got a business already, put your name of your business, put your phone number, email address, your IG, whatever you've got in there. I know I got a lot of business owners in the house, so please go ahead and drop that in the chat. We want to see you, know who you are. Also, of course, I want you to only unmute yourself and ask upon or call upon you. Then that way we can keep it moving forward. So the first 20 to 25 minutes, I'm going to just do a monologue, dialogue, show you some good stuff, and then we're gonna have opportunity to now discuss that which we are getting. I do believe that you gotta talk about the information you're getting, because if not, then you might not get it as much as you thought you did. And also we had a point where you're gonna ask some questions, because I definitely solicit your questions. I think the more you know, the more you can grow. All right, so you guys ready? If you're ready, just put in there, I'm ready. Throw that in the chat, I'm ready. You know, like SpongeBob. All right, guys. So real quick, before I get too heavy into it, I need to have you tell me some wins. So I need about 2, maybe 3 people. Tell me a win you had this week in your business. All right, 1, 2, 3, go. You know, I've voluntold somebody.
This is Sharia here with Manny Girls by Sharia. I have applied for my LLC and I'm just waiting on the paperwork to come.
Beautiful. Great job. Excited to hear about that. That's forward movement, forward momentum. I love it. All right. Let me hear another win. Who's got another win this week?
Hello, this is Delshana Moore. I have 2 paid clients. Come on, somebody. I'm excited about that. And today I just dropped a CD called Echoes of Prayer. Woohoo!
That's what I'm talking about, man. Making it happen. That's what I'm talking about. Great job, Delshana. That's what we need to get done and get it moving forward, which is great. All right, one more. Somebody give me a hot win this week. Going once, going twice. Somebody about to get voluntold. Uh-oh. All right, I'm gonna cut you some slack, just a little bit. All right, we'll move forward. All right, guys. So tonight, I'm gonna deal with starting your business. I wanna actually get into the nuts and bolts of actually from point A to point Z, showing you how to put all this stuff together, okay? So the biggest thing I want you to write down in your notes is why are you starting the biz? In other words, what is your reason behind this? Are you doing it because it just sounds like a good idea? Are you doing it because it's something that you actually always have wanted to do? I can tell you I started my business because it seemed like that's all I ever wanted to do. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. For some of you, it might be just because maybe during a shutdown, your job didn't come back. And now you're looking at things a little different and you want to have your own security. So you actually decided that, hey, I'm going to start my own business. That way I won't fire me, which is always a good thing, okay? Next thing is, I need you to figure out how much money do you need to make it happen? How much money do you need to make to replace your income? And you need to write that down. Now, we've already covered weeks past about how to take that one number and break it down per month, per week, and per day. Okay? Need you to know, you got to know how much money do you need to make. In other words, step into the business knowing that I need to make this. You know, don't step in guessing, hoping, and wishing. And the one thing you got to be careful of, because you'll always overestimate what you can do in 1 year, and you'll underestimate what you can do in 3. Okay? So when you're making this out, look at, number one, what you've made. Maybe your highest income has been 100,000. Then great. Then you should put down 150. You know, if your highest though has been only 50,000, then maybe you need to go with 75. But get it to where, and when I say realistic, it's only realistic to the person that believes it. Okay? Now, next thing is the who. Who can help you with areas you don't know? I'm going to challenge a lot of you guys over the next couple of weeks to stop trying to do it all. Stop trying to be the butler, the maid, the cook, the cleaner. Them days are over. I need you to start getting in a mindset of who can help me in the areas that I don't know. Because the time that you spend trying to figure this stuff out is the time that you could be working in your business. You could be making things happen within your business while you're trying to figure out stuff that somebody already knows, okay? And the last thing is what? What will you need to get started? In other words, what are the specs? What are the things that you need to line up to get in position so you can get started? How much startup cash will you need? How will this all come together? In other words, get some of these questions answered before you even start making these moves, because they have to be something that makes sense to you, okay? Next thing is, you gotta create a viable business name. And what I want you to do is check Google. Check Google to make sure the name's not already taken or 50 other people got it in a different variation. Try to get something unique, but not so unique that other people don't know what the heck you're doing, okay? Some of you have a name and you're doing something totally different than your name. Notice I say create a viable business name, something that actually links to what you do. In other words, if I were to see your business name, I want to be able to know what you do in your business name. Some of you, I know you've been taught, well, they want to question it. Why do they want to question it? I should know what you mean. I should know what you should be doing. At least put in there something that's going to relate us. Now, when I started out saying I just wanted my name to be in the business and I wanted to be a multi-financial service. Then I took another look at it and I actually took and made it WMS, Insurance and Financial Services. I had to streamline it. In other words, what do you do? When I look at that name, what do I do? And of course, there are only certain logos that you can see out there that you know what it is. So if you have a logo out there, make sure you start, if you're gonna put your logo there, make sure your business matches your logo and make sure vice versa. Check Google. In other words, when you go to the next couple steps I'm gonna show you, you wanna make sure that you don't have businesses that are named too close together, because they might mistake you for Rufus or Ray Ray or Shaquila, and we don't want you to do that. We wanna make sure you're lined up the right way. And of course, Secretary of State, you can actually go in, pop in business names, and see what's listed in Secretary of State. The good news about Secretary of State and Google, it'll give you different variations of that name. So that way you can see, well, maybe you don't want to go this way, maybe you don't go that way. Some of you, you need to look at consulting in your name of your business, because that's what you do. Some of you, you're going to look at, because I've heard and seen some business names, especially from people starting out, and I'm looking at like, what the heck were you thinking about when you wrote that? And the good news is people know what the person, us, the business owner, we get it, but it's not about us getting it, it's about your consumer getting it, or whoever's going to be the one that's going to be purchasing what you're trying to sell or give, because all of us are trying to do something, but people have to understand and know what you're doing, okay? So get a name that's going to be good, and please do me a favor, don't get a name so long that it don't look right when you're trying to build your website and your Google and all these things. Make sure it's something that's to the point, makes sense, and it says what you do, if at all possible, okay? Next thing, create a phone number. Okay, now many of you are using your cell phones. I think that's cool. But however, what I would recommend is Google Voice. is free. You can actually get a Google Voice number that's free that you can actually link now to where when somebody calls your cell phone, you'll know that it's a business call. That way you can get away from your screaming kids and answer the call like a professional. Because some of you, is sad. I call you, I'm listening to all, I'm like, what is going on? What kind of business is this? In my mind, I'm like, well, shucks. If they can't have a conversation because they're in the wrong place, then I'm concerned about that business already. So make sure, if you can, get a Google Voice, that's free. If not, Grasshopper is my go-to. I use Grasshopper, and Grasshopper is maybe $25 a month. And what that does, it gives you a professional sounding voice to where now people can call the actual voice mail and it can direct them to your cell phone. So in other words, you'll call there, hey, this is business so-and-so. Let me match one if you want so-and-so, match two if you want so-and-so. And the good news is once you match that one, then it goes to you. Say you want them to match two, it goes to you. But it actually transfers the phone numbers directly to your cell phone. But that way they don't have your cell phone number. And if you do it like I do it, on my actual phone, it shows what business that Grasshopper is attached to. Okay, so that's important to know because when you're calling a business, you want to make sure that if they're calling you as a business person, remember first impressions are everything. So make sure that first impression is very powerful, okay? Next thing, create an email. I want you to find out what email. You can use, of course, Google, Live, Yahoo, you know, all those ones that are out there. I would recommend GoDaddy. Only because GoDaddy gives you the business name or your actual website address in your actual email. Or you can do the same thing with Google. Google's free, but they do have a paid Google also. But if you're gonna pay for Google to do it, you might as well go to GoDaddy because I think GoDaddy is a little bit cheaper than Google is. Okay, but you gotta create an email. So you gotta create name, phone number, email. Because everything you go from here is how we're gonna start putting this thing together to where now it comes together to where it all works and makes sense, okay? Get a domain name. Go to GoDaddy and lock in a domain name. Whatever your business is, see if you can condense it, make it viable. Like mine is WMS Auto Insurance. Also have another domain, WMS Las Vegas. In other words, get to the point to where you get some domains that can tie people to what you're trying to accomplish, okay? But you need to get that let up. Even some of you need to just get your name domain because your business is surrounded by you. So get a domain with your name in it. That's fine. I think that's perfect. Like even with this, it's results driven by RW. That's my domain name. So a lot of that stuff, guys, I'm going to show you how to walk through this thing, but I want to make sure you got the right components to make it work. Okay? You guys with me so far? If you're with me so far, just put in the chat, I'm with you, or nod your head so I can see you. Good, 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 good. Next thing is going to be business address. Please, for God's sake, don't use your home address. I guarantee you, if you don't want nobody coming and knocking on your door, okay? What I recommend is go get a P.O. box. And the great news is now the P.O. box for UPS or actually the United States Postal Service is actually now comes with the actual address. So that means now you can actually put the post office address, physical address on your actual card. I believe what they do now is they just give you the box number, your unit number. But in the meanwhile, though, it makes you looks like that professional edge, okay? Especially for some of you that are getting started and you can't afford to do office space right now, but you don't want people coming to knock on your door. I think the mailbox might be, I don't even know what it is. Anyway, I pay it. I pay it every year. So I want to say it's no more than maybe $100 a year or something. It's something ridiculous. But it's something to where you guys go, and the good news is you can actually do this right online first, and then print the forms out and go to the post office box that's closest to you. I've had the same post office box for 30 years. And I did that intentionally because I knew that I was going to be buying property. Shucks, before I was 30, I bought 25 properties. So obviously I was moving as I was transitioning into those properties. And so it wasn't good for me to have and get locked into my home address. So for you guys, especially those of you that are going to be investors in property and stuff like that, I need you to start by get that doggone PO box, or you go to UPS store. I just think it's more expensive, or any mailbox spot. Only scary part about mailbox spots is what if they close down? So I would say either USPS, UPS, because normally they're going to be around sometimes, but definitely the United States Post Office. You know they're going to be there in most cases, all right? And now with them having that address that's free, it's better to go do that. That way you have a place of business. Now you're ready. Now you're ready. So the next thing is ready, set, go. Now, from this step, you're ready to actually get official. And getting official means setting up your LLC. Now, of course, some of you guys might incorporate. I don't believe you will as a startup business, or you shouldn't, but you can. Some of you, though, your business is a nonprofit, and that's okay too. Only thing is, instead of the LLC, you'll just do a nonprofit and get a 501c3. That way you can start doing what you do with your nonprofit, okay? Now, with the LLC, this is important to know. And the good news is, guys, within my network, I have, of course, an enrolled IRS tax agent, which just so happens to be my wife. And it's a good thing because a couple people you want to have around you guys. You want to have a good lawyer, a good tax professional, bookkeeper, and you want to have a good mentor in this thing, which should be me. And so with that being said, you want to make sure that you actually have these components to get. Once again, it's all about the components, okay? So setting up the LLC, now there's a subchapter S. Some of you guys have asked me about this before, and some of you actually set up your LLC for you because I'm a resident agent here in Nevada, so I do set up LLCs in my office, okay? This is important for a lot of you guys. The results-driven thing, just so you know, is because not only can I tell you the information, I can actually do a lot of it for you, okay? And that makes a big difference working with somebody that can only tell you, well, this sounds like a good idea. It's like, no, let's get it done, okay? This is important. With the subchapter S, if you're making, according to my tax person, if you're gonna be making over $50,000 a year, then you need to go ahead and get that subchapter S so you can pay yourself a W-2 to help with your taxes, okay? But the good news is you can always add that on, and that's cool, or you can do it right when you get started, okay? But it's important because what that does is avoids the double taxation and it allows you to do some other things. Like right now, I don't know if some of you guys that currently have businesses, but they actually have that ERC credit. And with that ERC credit, if you had employees that were W-2s, they're actually giving you close to about $7,000 per employee per quarter. Yeah, the government's giving you money. And depending on how many employees you got, like myself, you end up getting paid for going through COVID. It doesn't matter because some people did lose money, but some people made more money, but they could have made more money if it weren't for the avenues that they use being shut down. So there's all kinds of stipulations in there. The good news is with our tax office, they actually have a link that you can actually apply for it. Because of course, with anything you do, it doesn't cost you nothing to apply. But the first thing is you just gotta make sure that you have W-2 employees, okay? You can't do it with the 1099, it has to be W-2, all right? With the LLC, once that gets set up and gets going, the beautiful thing is you wanna get your EIN number, which of course you should get tied to your LLC. Both are generally linked together. You wanna make sure it's all congruent. In other words, all going together, okay? And once you set up that LLC, go get your bank account, all right? Find out which bank's gonna work the best for you. Now, personally, I'm a Chase guy. Some of you guys don't like Chase. Just depends on where you're at. But because I'm a veteran, I don't know if you know this, but Chase actually gives free accounts for veterans. And so I pay no fees. And I think right now I have over 10 accounts at Chase. I have all my accounts at Chase, yeah. Oh, I take that back, except for my nonprofits. If you have a nonprofit, I want you to check out Nevada State Bank. My girl over there, her name is Desiree. And if you want to check out Chase, my girl over there, her name is Dora. And notice I threw out names because you should know your banker. If you do not know your banker, remember this, if they don't know you, they can't flow you. If they don't know you, they can't flow you. So it's good because I can call and do a lot of stuff over the phone because I have both of their phone numbers. I actually have their cell numbers. And this is important when it comes to business because, and here's another little tip as I'm going through here, I usually try and go to the same bank branch. At my bank right now, I can walk in with no ID and matter of fact, no debit card, no nothing. And they'd be able to say, oh, Mr. Williams, oh, no problem, I got you covered. Only because that consistency, they now know me. I walk in the door, I'm waving to everybody, talking to everybody. And business, guys, remember, it's all about relationships. And so if you're somewhere and you have not built a relationship with your bank, I challenge you, start going to the same branch if you can. Start getting to know the people, let them get to know you. Do something to where now they won't forget who you are. So when you come in one day and you did forget your ID, or maybe you left your wallet at home. I'm one of those guys now, thank God I don't do that. But if I did, I still can do anything I want to do without my wallet. Okay? So when it comes to your bank, even my Starbucks knows me. Anyway, so when it comes to your bank, you want to make sure that you make it a point to get your bank to know you, get you a personal representative, someone that you can talk to that's always going to be that person that's going to be your person. If you don't have one, I'm going to let you borrow mine. Okay? Next thing, local business licensing. If you're in Clark County, some of you are, or you're in Henderson, or you're in North Las Vegas, each one of those actually has their own license. Like my business is in right now the city of Las Vegas, or city. Mine's in the city. So that licensing for the city is different from the county, different from Henderson, different from North Las Vegas. So whatever area you're in, you want to make sure that you get that license if you need it. Now, if you are doing actual location, you absolutely will need it. If you're doing it from your home, then you won't need it right now, depending on the business. Okay? Some of you guys, your business is going to require that you get a business license in order to make it work. Okay? Next thing, building your team. So once you've got these things in order, then now you can start getting ready to build your team. Okay? Most of you haven't built a team. You've decided you're going to do this, but you haven't really stopped for a moment to say, well, who am I going to work with? Now, if you're a personality, then you're just going to try and do it all yourself. And you're going to burn out, bunch your head up a couple times, and finally get to a point to realizing that I need help. Okay? I want you to know that you need help in the beginning. In other words, don't wait till you get there. Be ready before you get there. Some of you, the biggest thing we're going to talk about in the future here is how do you expand your business? How do you make it bigger than you? Okay, right now I know in my business, I could not do my business by myself. There's no way I could do it. I have to have employees. And here's something I want you to make a note of. Employees don't cost you money, they make you money. Let me say it again. Employees don't cost you money, they make you money. Because there's some things that you are doing right now. Well, here's what I need. There's some things you're doing right now that's a $15 job. Some of you guys are doing administrative stuff that you shouldn't be doing. You're doing bookkeeping stuff you don't even know how to do. Your bookkeeping right now is so jacked up, you don't know which way it's coming or going, okay? Certain things you just cannot try to figure out yourself. And if you do, you might hurt yourself. And then when things come along like the ERC, you're not eligible because your business isn't in order. Just like a lot of people with the PPP, they weren't eligible because their business wasn't in order. They was paying people under the table and carrying on. No, I'm not going to show you how to do jackleg. I don't know how to do jackleg. I'm not trying to do jackleg. And jackleg, just so you guys know, is doing it the wrong way. It's old South Carolina term. But at some point, I'm going to start doing things the right way because I don't want you to backtrack. Some of you guys have had false starts. You've started businesses, blew up, and your business outgrew you, and you lost control. Okay? I don't want that to happen. Matter of fact, that will not happen on my watch. Look at me. That will not happen on my watch. Okay? As long as you're going through me, I'm going to show you how to make some things happen. I got another couple that I'm actually doing some individual coaching on, and we're helping them write some contracts because they actually didn't know how to get a contract. What should they get? All those things. I showed them how to put that stuff together. Very important, guys, because you can mess around and cut your own, what's that old saying? You can cut off your nose to spite your face. And also, if you don't know your worth, there are some sharks out there that are gonna take advantage of you not knowing your worth, okay? So be careful with that. Make sure you actually know how everything plays out. So building your team, here's what I want you to think about. I want you to think about, of course, you are the CEO. You are the Chief Executive Officer. On the movie Baps, it said CEO, CEO. So see, some of you know, some of you guys, I'm a comedy guy, I like comedy. Anyway, so with that, you wanna make sure that you know who you are. If you're the CEO, then the CEO has to be careful that he's not doing stuff that he shouldn't, or he or she should not be doing anymore. If you really thought about it right now, as I'm going through a little bit of this, what are some things, put it in the chat, that you shouldn't be doing at this point? You know, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know when the last time I filed some papers. I don't file papers. You can cancel all that. Right now, because I have a great, amazing, super awesome bookkeeper who just happens to be fine. There's that brownie points, I just got some gold stars and I won some gold stars. But anyway, so because of her, I get receipts, I just take pictures of the receipt and it goes right to my QuickBooks. Those are things that save time, effort, and energy. Some of you got receipts that are faded, jacked up, messed up, because you just don't know that some of this stuff is available. I just talked to a multi-millionaire who didn't even know that he didn't have to keep keeping his receipts. I'm like, dude, who's your bookkeeper? He's like, oh, well, they never told me. I said, man, you should be able to get the app, put it on your phone, and when you're out, you get the receipt, you snap it, once you snap it, it's in the system, your bookkeeper should be able to now see it, and boom, you're done. You can take the receipt and you can shred it. Who thinks that would be easier than you and that big old, that I know y'all, you got that little binder with all the receipts in it. You know, I've seen y'all come to my wife's office in this big old box of receipts. I'm like, what the? And you know, she's so cold, she's gonna charge you for every hour she had to go through the receipts. Let me see, 1 receipt, 2 receipts. So you wanna get to the place to where automate what you can, so that way you don't have to do it. Okay, how many knew about the QuickBooks receipt? Just put in the chat, I knew about it, or put in the chat, I had no idea. And if you had a bookkeeper and they didn't tell you, I need you to slap them. And you go back and tell them. Now, if you got to tell your bookkeeper what they should be doing, you might need a new bookkeeper. I'm just gonna throw that out there. But your bookkeeper should have told you this, and you should be snapping stuff up, and that way you don't have to keep receipts all over the place, okay? Now, building your team. Of course, you are the CEO. You wanna get a CFO, or a Chief Financial Officer. Now, with the Chief Financial Officer, I want you to remind you that this does not have to be a position that you actually physically pay somebody. You can utilize a bookkeeper as your CFO. So now they take care of all your books, all your papers, all that pages. That way now you don't have to worry about trying to keep up with that stuff. Some of you guys are, like right now, I'm using myself in a lot of examples. All my stuff is paid the first of the month. So I don't know about all the rest of the stuff. The only thing that's different is payroll. Payroll comes twice a month, so that's the way that works. But everything else, we cover at the top of the month. And then every single month, I meet with my bookkeeper just to find out what my numbers are. And this is important when you've got a good bookkeeper, that you are paying and you're actually getting the service that you need, okay? Next thing is you need a Chief Operating Officer, okay? Chief Operations Officer. And all that boils down to, for those that are getting started, you just need a good admin person. Some of you got kids, put them jokers to work. That's what I did. Hey, in my house, I didn't pay no allowance. I paid a commission. You do work, you get paid. You don't do work, you don't get paid. If you teach them now that they can just get stuff, then later on we wonder why they just receive stuff and not have to put no work in. So make them put that work in, put them to work. Some of these kids, man, they'll blow you away with their computer skills. They'll set your social media up, they'll get it all together, then you just pay them a little change, and man, you got the best cheap slave labor that you can find. But you want to make sure you actually get that going, okay? So a Chief Operations Officer can just start with an admin. Then once you get to a certain place, now you can actually hire someone to do that if you need that in your business. And the only thing a chief operations officer does is pretty much takes care of the actual operations of your business, okay? It can also be considered an office manager, one that actually covers your office and makes sure everything flows the way it should, okay? Last thing I'm gonna throw in here, guys, is an investor. You need a good business partner. You know what? You need somebody that you can believe, like, and trust. You know, I have an affirmation I say every day. You know, I own multiple multi-million-dollar businesses with people that trust me and I trust them. And that's what's happening. And so now with that being said, depending on what you're trying to accomplish, you need to find a way to make that viable to get an investor involved. I started out and I was very fortunate that I had an investor that came on board, and my investor gave me $10,000. Back then, $10,000 was a lot of money. And he just stroked me a check, okay? Now, the cool thing is, I was at that stage to where everything was working, and he's the one that got me started and going in the game. And literally, I want to say within a year to 2 years, he pretty much, I doubled his money. I gave him $30,000, wrote him a check, stroked him a check for 30 grand for him giving me that $10,000 initial investment, okay? Those are things that now, once you start doing that, you want to start looking at people that you know, because some of you might be the problem is you don't have good credit or you just don't have any money. And there's so many other people out there with money and with credit. Now the key is you have to set the business up to where it's viable, to where somebody wants to be a part of it. And your work ethic has to match what you're trying to accomplish. You know, I've just invested in a young man. And with that young man, I'm seeing some major returns in less than 7 months. You know, it's crazy. Matter of fact, within the next 4 to 6 months, he's going to be bringing in excess over $1 million a year. Okay. And so it lets me know that with a good business partner, you can go further faster. Okay. I know some of you are like, well, I don't want no help. I don't want no. I get it. Be careful who you bring on board for sure. Be careful how you make it work. But working with me, you have time here because you'll get asked questions about what you're looking for and maybe even the amount. But I know for me, at least before my business partner came, if I can get a little spiritual, if I can use that word, I actually envisioned what I wanted. I wrote it down. Back then, it was old Gateway computer and it was just Publisher, I think it was. And I literally put a document together that showed what I needed to get started. So when my investor did come, I was able to give him a page that said, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm going to make. This is what I need. And he was able to stroke me that check. Okay. People are not going to stroke you a check on just you talking. They need to see, at least I know for me, I need to see what you're doing, how long you've been doing it. Is this what you do? Then I want to see what the numbers look like. What's the potential of this business? What have you made so far? And what is my ROI or return on investment? And how long can I expect it? That's one of those things, okay? Building your team, very important, very important. All right, guys, I got a lot more I want to talk to you about and we're going to get into. So let me just tell you a couple things we're going to be hitting in the next couple of weeks. We're going to be dealing with business insurance, going through it, letting you know exactly and breaking that down for you, because some of your businesses will require business insurance. Then we're going to get into who's your client, get into pretty much we've already covered a business plan, but I kind of want to define for some of you where you're at. Because as we're coming to the end of January, I need you by the end of this month to know exactly what you're trying to accomplish and what you're actually going on after. Many of you serial entrepreneurs, your side hustle got a side hustle. I'm going to need you to get focused on at least one thing that's going to make you money the rest of this year. Okay? And from that one thing, I promise you the other things you want to do, it will come to pass. Okay? Next thing is we're going to talk about marketing, social media. I'm going to show you about CRM. I'm going to get you set up where you actually see how these systems can work for you. So those are the things that we're going to be dealing with probably the next 2 to 3 weeks. I'm going to be really hammering, let's get this thing done. So my goal for you is before the 15th of next month, if your choice is or your thought is, I want to have my own business, I want you to have everything you need to start that thing moving forward. All right, so that's my dialogue. Conversation around the information. With you guys, let me check my chat real quick. But real quick, if you have a question or a thought or a comment, I'd like to hear it at this time. All right?
Good evening, good evening.
Hey, what's going on?
How's everybody doing? So for me, specifically, I got the business going on, but like you said in one of those slides, having investors, right? My foundation is there, but it's not 100% sound. So on top of my goals or our goals that we have to send to you, I'm seeing that I got some more goals that I can achieve. And also, some of this information goes into my goals. So I want to make sure I tap in and, hold myself accountable to get things done. But it's exciting.
Beautiful, beautiful. You're close, man. You're so close, man. It's just right there. Just a few little adjustments and boom, walk right into what you need. This year, I'm telling you guys, is going to be one of the best years you ever had. This is going to be one of the best years financially, mentally, relationships. It's going to be your best year ever. You're rolling with me. You're connected. And as you're connected, my goal is going to be to have you, because of course you're going to keep me here. You're going to hear me keep saying, you can have it all. Say it with me. I can have it all.
I can have it all.
I can have it all. In other words, you don't have to say, well, if I don't know, no, you can have it all. You can have it all. All right, thanks, Troy. I appreciate that, man. Other comments on tonight, or questions or thoughts? And then I have a couple specific questions, but I want to see what you have out there. What's in your mind? Or give me two takeaways on what you got for our conversation just now, or my dialogue.
Okay, it's Sharia family. Don't be scared to ask for help. Being connected to this group, as RW say, you have someone that could do the work for you. So keep that in mind. You need to LLC. You feel like, you know what? I don't want to do it. I don't have the capacity. You have someone you could pay that's going to do the work for you. That's the connection part that business school and other business groups is not going to provide for you. So I could just say, take advantage of that tool. Take advantage of your coach because he is well connected. So I learned to delegate and to work smart. So if it's something I don't have to overthink, I'd rather pay somebody to do it. And that's something RW taught me, because I would do everything on my own or use my kids. And now I learned it's good to use the kids, to put the kids on the payroll. But if you have the money, hire somebody else to do it for you. Ain't that what employers do to us? Don't they hire us to make them money and we make them millions of money? Take on that same mindset.
Appreciate that.
Hey, everybody, it's Delshana. I've got one of my major takeaways for tonight. I've got a series of questions in the chat, but one of my major takeaways for tonight is to establish a relationship with the banker. And so I've chosen Clark County Credit Union for free. It's free. But I've not used the same bank over and over again. And I've not selected the banker or even remember their name. So thank you for that pointer. And the other thing another takeaway I'm having is that I've never even thought that my business would have an investor like that would apply. So this is making me think outside the box.
Good. Because what happens is, guys, you got to make sure that you kind of look at this from how can I grow? Okay, my end game for you guys, let me tell you the end game. I'm gonna give you what's that, when you have a movie and you have to go through all this just to get to the end. My end game is to show you guys how to develop streams of income. That's the end game. Let me be honest, that's the end game. I want to show you how to establish streams of income that now you won't have to go out there and grind every day. I got 5 years, and if I wanted to say your mama, I could, but I know this is my next phase, because I want to show people how to get where I got faster. It took me 24 years that I'm going to teach a lot of you to do within 5 or 3. And some of you even 2, depending on how bad you want it, because now you're getting the tools to actually line this thing up to go further fast. That's all I'm doing, guys. Just so you know, I'm just making you go further faster. Because no matter what, I need to tell all of you, let me look you in the eye, you're all great. because you're on this call. It lets me know that you want what you want. Now it's a matter of you actually getting the steps to get there. And I want to cover all areas for you. I want the mental, physical, spiritual, relational. That way now you have all that you need as a package. So when you're helping other people, you can help them completely, you know, because with this performance, it's huge for me because you got to make sure you're actually doing what you said you're going to do. So I'm going to hold you accountable if you allow me to. Okay. I like these questions. Let's see. I got to get the QuickBooks app. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. If you have a good bookkeeper, she'll actually give it to you in most cases for free. I'm just saying. Never knew about it. Wix is good. Good. Some of you guys are very creative yourself, which is awesome. I'm not. I have phenomenal person that helps me out with all my stuff. I just send her, she sends me a bill and we all good. And I'm gonna introduce you to her actually in our meeting that's coming up. You're gonna get introduced to a lot of I call it my network. Because within my network, we have a lot of good people, not that you have to use them, but I think it's good to not only us talk about it, but me direct you, hey, if you ain't got nobody, go here. Because I know they'll get it done. I've already vetted them. You know, I only work with people, remember that I believe, like, and trust. If I don't believe, like, and trust, and also if I send them to you and they do something that ain't right, you call me, I put them in a headlock. And that's good to have somebody that can come back and follow up and make sure they do what they say they're gonna do, okay? I like it. I'm looking to hire the best talent, absolutely. So do your research, check around. Please don't take what I say as gospel. Do your research. You know, I'm definitely all about that because some stuff could be outdated. Some stuff you could do maybe better. You know, the good news is I have a great marketing person that's actually on this call that I'm meeting with on Friday. And because some of you don't even know it yet, but I'm mentoring you to go in business with you. You just don't know it yet. Because I don't go in business with jackleg people. So that means I need to get everybody I'm in business with in line. This is how we do business. You know, we do what we say and say what we do. And so I already know some of you I'm already gonna be in business with. It's just a matter of you lining things up. So some of you are asking, well, how do I get an investor? Stay focused, get everything together. And then you'll have people around you that will see you. Like my investor that invested in me, he just saw me in my grind and he respected my gangster. And then he said, hey, what can I do to help? And I was able to say, da, 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 because I was ready. You know, some of you aren't ready. That's why when stuff come up, you can't move on it. All right, I see a hand up. Troy, come on, what you got?
The sub S is in reference to the S corp.
Subchapter S is just S code. Yep.
Yes. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a tax code. So a lot of people get confused. The LLC. The LLC can be a subchapter S, a C corp, a partnership. All of those things can flow within LLC. That's a good question. But the good news is we're going to be doing some tax strategies next month for business too. So I know that's going to help a lot of you guys, especially those of you that are looking to buy property, that own businesses. Biggest thing for a lot of business people is they try to write off all their expenses. And then they go to try to buy a house or investment property, and they're looking at them and saying, well, where's the money? And you're like, oh, I made a lot of money. But you know, we write down all our taxes. Well, unfortunately, if you're not showing money, then that's going to be a problem. So that means that, like me, I'm actually looking to buy a apartment complex. And so I'm having to show money. So hence I'm paying more taxes. And some of you are like, well, I'm trying to get away from tax man. And you can. If you're not buying anything, then claim down to zero. You can as a business person. Okay? But if you're looking to buy property, invest, do certain things, you're going to need to have to show at least a certain level of income for people to do those things. Okay? Just a thing to keep in the back of your mind. Okay? Looking to birth a new business under a DBA on a LLC, or should I do a new LLC? Good question, Lakeisha. What I would recommend is you have to make sure the business LLC lines up with the DBA. In other words, don't do a business that's completely different than your DBA. Okay, so if you're doing a business, say in mental health, and maybe your DBA is Troy's Mental Health Club, or maybe your DBA is mental counseling or something. So in other words, it's all coming from the same type entity. Now, if it's something totally completely different, then you need to get a whole nother LLC. And here's why, guys. Now, some guys have preached and talked about, you can get this one company and you can have the other companies underneath that company. Now, as an insurance guy, I can tell you, you put yourself in harm's way. Because if you're actually have an umbrella company and little companies underneath that same company and they're all tied together, if you got sued in one, you can get sued in all. Yes. Yes, Series LLC, you're actually right. So you have to be careful there because that can put you in a position to where, now it sounds good because it can make it easier for you maybe, but if say you got one thing that is almost like, here's a story. I had a guy, he was at back of a dock with a truck. So he had an accident at the dock with the truck. I guess he hit the dock, a guy fell off, broke his leg. And so the guy that broke his leg, he sued the truck company, he sued the dock company. Okay, then he turned around and sued in other words, he connected it. A good lawyer is going to connect for you to find out how, because a lawyer is going to say, where is the money? Now, of course, remember, they won't sue you directly because of the LLC protects you, but they can still go after your LLC. Okay, and we're going to talk about insurances on next week because I'm going to show you how to protect yourself. Because here's the key, guys, when you don't have nothing, you don't got to protect nothing. What's the old saying? You can't get blood from a turnip. If you ain't got nothing, then you ain't got nothing to protect. But if you have a house, you have a business, you have all these things happening, you gotta cover that stuff. Because trust me, the first thing that something happens, they're gonna try to find where's the money. Okay? Yes, I see a hand there in the back. Robbie, what you got?
So how do you know if you do have a house and you're going into business, how do you know when to put your assets or liabilities into your company and not in your name?
It depends on what you're looking to do. Now, if you're looking to do investment property, then I advise putting your investment property in an LLC. Now, if it's your primary residence, I recommend putting it in a trust and getting a homestead, because the homestead will protect your equity in your home for your primary residence only. It won't do it for your investment properties. Yeah, like right now with our investment properties, our checks that come from our renters or from my property management company goes into the LLC. In other words, I don't have anything right now that I get paid directly. Everything flows through my LLCs. Okay. In other words, my LLCs pay me. And some LLCs I don't even take money from because, praise God, I don't need it. But also the next phase is because I don't want to get taxed on it. Because remember, you only get taxed on money that you take out. Okay. So just consider that. All right. I'm going through the notes. If somebody else has a comment, go ahead and speak up. Yep, I like that. Create a business phone. Guys, however you do it, do not, try not to, because remember, you want to scale later. And so as you're scaling, you kind of want to make sure that you have another number that people can call that won't be your house. Because I hate to tell you this, but some people won't respect you and they'll try to call you over the weekend. They'll try to call you. It's like, look, I'm going to do them like they did in that one movie, The 5 Heartbeats. He says, my business hours are 9 to 5. Monday through Friday. Okay, don't be calling me on the weekends. Don't be calling me in the evening. No, I do have people that do that to me now. And you know what I do? Oh, okay. They get no love. You know, I love y'all, but I don't love you enough to interrupt my time that's for my family. Okay? Delshana, you get your hand up. Go ahead.
I have questions about local licensing. And if we're a vendor, like if it's e-commerce, right, or online store, but you're a vendor in a physical location at the time and you're selling the product, do you need local licensing for that?
If you have a location in that area, and if you're selling in those areas, like I have a janitorial business, and he actually operates throughout the county, and also he operates in the city of Las Vegas, and he operates in Henderson. So he's actually required to have a license in all those entities because he operates in all those areas. Okay. The good news is if you don't have a location, in most cases, unless you're required to, you can actually not have a city or county license, depending on the type of work. Like if you're an online retailer, you shouldn't need a business license unless you're in an actual location. Okay, anytime you're in a location, that trumps everything because they're gonna want you to have a license to run that location. And if you don't, trust me when I tell you, they will find out and they will come knock your door down and fine you and then still make you get a license. Okay, so just be careful with that. Let's see, what else we got?
Pastor, may I please give a comment?
Absolutely.
I would like to reference to Miss Delshana. When you're on location, yes, you would need a vendor's license. Say like if you do a pop-up shop, yes, the vendor license is under $100. If you go to the city website or go through RW, he will be able to do that for you. Also, I'm in the hair and nail care business. So say like if you wanted to do nonprofit work, like how they do back to school events, you need it's a special license from the State Board of Cosmetology that you need to have on you guys when you're doing those, say like if you did back to school haircuts, you need a license. It's like a vendor, a special license you get through the State Board of Cosmetology. I just want to put that out there because I notice a lot of people like to put together events and, say like you have a nonprofit and you want the barbers to show up and cut the kids' hair. You need license for that. So I just want to keep in mind in that. One last thing, I just want to give a shout out to our group. There is some special people here that could really help during this time of starting up your business. We have the beautiful Miss Robbie Wright, who does taxes at WMS, with the beautiful Miss Williams. They do our taxing and booking service. So you guys remember, those are people that's here in this group that could actually help you with that service, especially with starting up your LLC, understanding the S corps. Miss Williams and Miss Robbie, you guys really need to contact them for that. That's all I got to say. I love all you guys. Keep moving forward.
Appreciate that. That's good stuff. Yeah, because one thing I did want to establish with this group is that once again, we're moving towards results. So we want to have things established to where now you can actually start performing and getting things done that you want to get done. Instead of thinking about them and talking about them, you want to actually do some stuff about them. All right, Deshaun, you get your hand up again? Go ahead. What you got? I got you, girl. I got you.
No, I'm good. Sorry, let me take my hand down.
Oh, okay, that's okay. That's okay. No worries, no worries. All right, guys. Well, I think the good thing is I think we covered some good ground on tonight. Hold on one second. Let me pull up my final touches here since we had the conversation. Well, before I go, do you guys have any other business questions outside of what we talked about tonight? Any other questions? Something I can help you with? Good. Dr. Kathy, good to see you on tonight.
Thank you, sir. I'm glad you called my name because I actually have a comment.
Please.
So I have my PO box at Postal Annex, and with Postal Annex, you get a physical address, and then you just get the box number. Also, though, I paid to have my license hang there. So, for the businesses that you have the required license, you have to hang them somewhere. So if you don't have a physical address to hang the license, at Postal Annex, I paid, I forgot what it was, it's been like 3 or 4 years ago, but I paid to have a license hang. And then when you go to the state, you give them that address and they go approve it there.
Perfect. Yeah, no, and that's important, guys, because some of your businesses, you will need an address. I got another guy that actually rented space from me, and his whole thing was he had to have an enclosed office. And so we actually were able to provide that. But there's also 2 other places like Postal Annex that will allow you to do that. So definitely, see, this is good information, guys, because some of you guys might not have known that. So thank you so much, Dr. K, for sharing that tonight. All right, guys, any other questions? Any other questions that are outside of that or comments? Okay, good. All right, guys, well, you know the deal. Accountability closes the gap between intention and results. My goal is to get you accountable, and that's what I'm going to do. Keep you accountable to your dreams, your vision, the things you say you want to do. That's why I had you guys, when we first get started, to write down your goals, your vision, your dream. That way we can start now working you towards that, and also finding out how serious you are about what you say you want. Great news is, guys, you don't have to go it alone. You can get help. You got help. Matter of fact, now you got a whole tribe, as Ms. Sharia said, you got a whole group of people that now are going to push you forward. And within our group are people that can specialize and help you. Matter of fact, like I said, on the 29th, I'm inviting you all to come learn how to buy real estate. Trust me, you got to get some real estate in your portfolio. It might not be the thing you do, but rent right now is crazy. You know, my sister, whom I love dearly, she was on Section 8. Now we're preparing her to buy her first home. And she's actually going to be leaving Section 8 and going into her own home by the end of this year or the beginning of 2023. It just depends on how fast she moves. But I'm pushing her. Now she's ready. So even for those of you that have been there, done that, there's opportunity for you to keep going, okay? So definitely don't stop there. Next thing is, of course, 21 Days to You challenge is coming to an end. How you guys been doing on this? Give me a little shout out in the chat. I've been doing good. I've been sloughing off. I've been eating pot roast, quote unquote. I've been doing things that just put it in there, Yeah, I see the smiley face. But guys, I'm telling you, we got 3 more days. So we got Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Can you give me 3 strong days of discipline? And here's what I'm trying to teach you in this is discipline. If you're not disciplined, it's going to be hard to do business without discipline. Okay? In other words, you must know how to pick your spots, but then know how to shift. And my goal with this is not to make you a vegetarian. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to make you this top-notch athlete, but I do know this: the better your physical is, the better your mental. You know, Sister Sharia, I see you out there, girl. I see you out there like me, put that grind on. I like it. Those are things to me that push people. Like right now, next month, I'm gonna be running a half marathon. I'm never gonna tell you to do something that I'm not gonna do myself. I run half marathons as often as I can, at least once a year minimum, only because you need something that's gonna challenge you. What's gonna be your challenge this year while we're here? What's gonna be your thing that is gonna be hard for you to do? You're unsure if you'll be able to do it, but you're gonna commit to doing it. Whatever that is, I want you to think about that. So anyway, 3 more days. Here's a goal: 6 a.m. meditation and prayer. 15 minutes, whatever works for you, Monday through Friday. So matter of fact, because you have not been a part of this, or maybe you didn't know, for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I want you to kind of break this down and try to go through this. Physical activity, at least out of the next 3 days, at least get 1 day in that you do 30 minutes, okay? At least do 1 day. Can you do 1 day? Put in the chat, I'll do 1 day, okay? Vegetarian lifestyle, oh my goodness, I can't, I'm a carnivore, I like meat, good. Meat, nothing wrong with meat, I believe meat is cool. I just found out it doesn't work for me, but that's okay, it works for you. But here's what I wanna ask you, how are you sleeping? Do you have high blood pressure, low blood pressure? Do you have all these different issues? Are you taking a bunch of pills? Ask yourself, do you have digestive issues? A lot of this stuff, guys, if you purify your body a little bit more, do a little detox, I guarantee your body will feel better and want to move more, okay? Drink plenty of water. Top daily 5 power list. How many guys is that power list been working for? I know I talked to Delshana. She said that power list has been working for her. Anybody else that power list been working for you? Put in the chat for me. No acid reflux. Look at that. Wow. 9 pounds. Delshana, great job. That's what I'm talking about. Made to the job. Oh, I like it. Great job, guys. Great job. All right. I see you in the chat. I see you. Daily audit of income. I want you to start once again for the next 3 days. Those that are working on the weekend, some of you aren't. Take inventory. What are you actually making that day? Is it a profitable day? And even if you're not physically making money, what are you doing that are money-making activities? Okay, check that out. Make sure you're on the right page. This ends this Sunday. So after Sunday is a wrap, I got another big challenge I'm gonna be doing in February or March to kind of make you go to the next level. Troy, what you got, buddy? I see your hand is raised.
guess I missed the date that you said you were doing a real estate seminar.
Yes, the 29th. That's gonna be on
Then-
Saturday from 9 to 9, is it 9:30 to 11:30, I believe it is, yes.
9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m.
You got it, you got it. And matter of fact, you text me, I'll send you a flyer.
Gotcha. Running with my sports schedule, but also I know I'm here. I've been busy. I know you guys got your goals for your health. One of my personal goals was to get my blood ran. My goal personally is to see what foods are beneficial to my blood type. I have an athletic background. I got 2 kids under 2, so my workouts are like stagnant right now. 2 of my coworkers who I work with, who are actually coaches, were doing this, I guess you could say challenge as well. They referred me to this doctor. I could send information into the chat, Shiny, but Dr. Thompson ran my blood, lets me know what's going on with me from a homeostasis level of, what are you deficient in regards to minerals and vitamins. So I'm doing pretty good with it. And this really goes with the 21-day challenge. But for me, more so, it's about the longevity. So if you guys interested, for sure, it's a beautiful situation is what I'm saying.
Beautiful, man. I love it. Anything that's gonna help you in the overall person, I'm all for, man. That's what you wanna do. Because I love what you said, longevity. Ain't no sense in making all this money and you can't even enjoy it because you're all jacked up, okay? And that's just real talk, all right? So good. You guys keep going with that. Do as much as you can while you can. It works. Value exchange, you know the deal, guys. Here's where I tell you, I am giving you value. So I'm looking for, of course, that value in return. My time is valuable. I'm doing this not because I have to, but because I want to. I want to get more. My goal, like I said, is I want to get you guys up and running faster, further, but the same token is a value exchange, okay? And this is how you want to look at it. You want value that you exchanged. So hence, if you don't give to me, a coach that doesn't have a coach, I question that. Only because if you really believe in coaching, then you should have a coach, okay? So your coach has a coach. Actually, I have a couple. Anyway, I spend a lot of money because it's worth it to me. With this, last thing is, of course, we have our weekly cold call. Love you guys that are inviting people. So if you can, next week, invite a friend, come on out. I do want to introduce them to what we're doing, but then also want to hold them accountable to realize that it is a value exchange. So those of you that are already taking care of your business, handle it. I appreciate you. Those that are going to, appreciate you even more. Let's keep moving forward as we learn, grow together, and become what I know you can become. I believe everybody on this call, there's no reason why by the end of this year, your life should not dramatically change and your income should not at least double as we're working together. All right. Also remember, as you're doing your taxes, these classes are tax deductible. So make sure, depending on what other deductions you have, you might already have enough, so you might be good. If you don't, let me know. We send you the email because it does count as a training course, and training courses are tax deductible. All right. Other than that, guys, if you don't have anything else, I am good. We are a couple minutes over, but that's okay. I don't mind. Troy, do you have your hand up for a reason, or is it just up? Oh, I got my hand up. Okay. All right, guys. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Do me a favor, your chance later on. Shoot me a little text. Let me know one area that I can help you in this week, next week. One area. You said, hey, RW, I need your help on this one thing. Shoot me a text or an email, and let's see if we can help you out and get you to where I want some more wins on next Thursday. I want to hear some big wins on some things that you're doing. All right, guys, you guys enjoy a wonderful evening, and I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. Lock in your calendar, those that can, January 29th, 9:30, 11:30. You don't want to miss it. Even if you're not looking to buy yet, I don't care. Come find out how. I'm also going to have a credit repair specialist there too. For those of you that are credit challenged, it's going to show you how to walk through and make some things happen for you with your credit. All right. Talk to you soon, guys. You guys have a great week. Bye.